shutter. Yeah, left lobby, right lobby, on the bridge, right? Then you got bats, or right side, your right side. Then you got coal, or your left side, right? This is generally called coal. Then you have under. Then you have left roof and right roof, depending on which side of the map you are on, obviously. Then you have under bats, which is under bats, right? And then you have speaking on the pipes, which is means the sniper speaking aggro on bats, like on this rampart here, right?
Right.
And then you have heavies on wood, which is this spot for heavy. Okay.
Yep.
And besides that, you can just basically say he's oh yeah. They also have a sniper spot, which is like the little barrel here, because you can like no, this is not called sniper spot. It's just a crack shot. I'd call this crack shot because you can shoot through this crack as sniper. He's on the crack basically, because he's cracked as fuck. You know, that's how you should do it. Yeah. So they have ammo kit, which is where spy might uncloak from, which is like right here, right? So call that ammo kit. When you're holding left side, this is basically ammo kit. Okay. And of course you got spies on the health kit in the lobby. Okay.
Okay.
And then you also have the back left of lobby, which is this area. You can also call them by the gate numbers, like usually people call this gate. Sometimes people call this gate because there's a gate sign next to it, shit like that. I would just call it left side, right side, makes it much easier, right? And then just say, he's left off pipes. He's on point, walking point. They're walking from lower left. They drop down, which means they drop down from bats. Okay, that's kind of terms you need to know. Okay. Besides that, call plan's very simple. There's not much to say about this, right? So, you got behind the boxes on bats. Wow, there's boxes. Here's bats. Oh, so I'm somewhere here, right? Very straightforward. And then you got like oh yeah, he's coming the back stairs on bats, right? This is like the back stairs of bats, or like he's coming from spawns. That stairs is this one, right? Back of lobby. Sniper's back of lobby, which usually means he's playing like all the way behind these boxes, and someone's opening shutter for him. Right, he's somewhere right here, and someone's opening shutter for him. That's something you need to know as well. Like back of lobby. That's what that means for sniper, okay? Because you can open the shutter spy, right, the cloak and dagger or whatever. And the sniper can sit all the way back of lobby, gets a really long sideline. And if the enemy spy does the same, you can look all the way to their back of lobby from there. It's a really long sideline. Okay? So that's one thing you do have to know. Okay. But no, there's no difference between yeah, this is called bats. And then the sniper's top right usually. And then he's speaking far out, top right. Means he's speaking here. Or he's speaking pipes, which means he's speaking here. Okay?
Oh,
That's usually how you call it.
yeah.
And if sniper's top left, you say speaking far out top left. Right? Because he's speaking far out from bats. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very simple because it's kind of a simple map, right? Simple
Yeah.
map design.
Yeah.
Right side, shutter, left side. It's very straightforward. Do you have a couple ideas for rollouts? So, for Demo Man, obviously he jumps and spawn towards the shutter door, he gets a full buff again, right? Always. And he jumps from this, just this bit too high, you just jump through the door, you land somewhere here. Right? Or you jump through the door, you land here somewhere. Like, you don't have to just go a bit lower, it's like a really simple, like, jump. You can also jump off this, that's usually better, because you get lower jump. You go like this, and then you jump like this, and you're out shutter. Or when you jump from here, you jump to top right or top left. Right, so you jump like this. Like that. They pre-fire that. Right, shit like that. Or you, again, you jump from this. And you jump top left. And then yeah. Go ahead.
Is it more important to stay with your team and make sure they're protected, or to try and surprise the enemy and
So generally speaking, I'll go over the most common ones at your diff. Okay. So in your diff, what most teams will do is they'll probably like do the shutter jump, right? and they'll then have their Pyron Scout also go shutter and back your demo up instantly, so he doesn't die, right? Okay. The risk with this is, though, that your medic can never roll out shutter, because if your medic can never follow your demo through shutter, he always has to go top left. If you're doing that, the reason for that is that their sniper could, as I said before, play in the back of lobby, right? There. And then someone could open shutter, and if the medic also goes shutter, he gets sniped instantly, right? The other thing that's risky about this is you're kind of pretty far forward, right? You're pretty easy to get bombed by their soldier, who usually rolls out on bats, okay? And then you get bombed over this house, you can really easily get 2 shots. And if their demo hits like a good sticky on you, you get, and then the soldier bombs, you die, okay? And that's why it's really important that your pyro, when he backs him up, gets close to his demo and doesn't have detonator out, he just reflects, okay? Primary, that's very important when you do this, when you push shutter, okay? And then your scout is basically the first guy to get some pressure off the demo. And he might be able, if the demo hits the enemy demo, if he does the same, right? Then your scout can maybe get the quick kill and get back out, okay? So that's why you do shutter rollout for your combo classes, basically, okay? So if you do the shutter rollout, that's how your demo, scout, and pyro roll out. Then your sniper, spy, and NG can do whatever they want. Okay. It's up to them. Maybe your NG can start building a gun. Maybe he wants to play mini sentries or go left side or whatever. Up to them, as long as they support their team. Okay, obviously. Like you could, as I said, you can snipe, you can decide, you can peek back a shutter, have someone open the shutter door for you. Maybe your NG does that, maybe your spy does that by standing here, right? Try to get a quick snipe on their demo, stuff like that, right? Your heavy and medic though, they'll always be rolling out top left. Okay? Because they need to get your medic needs to get an arrow on your demo quickly, and the only quick way to do that is do it from here, right? And then get into this somewhat safe positioning, right? And as soon as your medic gets out, your pyro and demo back off towards him. Or if you got kills, your medic keeps walking forward and instantly starts healing the medic, demo and pyro and shit. Okay, that makes sense. So you either start a stalemate with the enemy team, right? From like this positioning where you just start fighting over the point like a mid fight. Or if you already got the picks really early by going shutter and you got traps off before they even open the door, then you dead them before they get in. And then you spam this before they even get top left, right? You got picks, then your medic goes more aggressive, starts playing like around the shutter area, right? Just only like watching around for spies and shit, just buffing everyone on the point so you can cap. Okay? Generally speaking, your soldier and scout, well, your soldier will always be rolling out top right. So what he will be doing is he'll be on the whip, right? On the whip. Then I'll whip the heavy, 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 whip the heavy. Jump top left, like this. Top right, like this. And then the heavy keeps the speed boost and uses that to get to there, basically. Right? Your heavy cannot go shutter. Because if your heavy goes shutter, your demo and pyro have no one with health to back off into. Because he'll be taking the same damage as the demo and pyro. That makes sense, okay? You can also say, what you can do is you can go with your heavy medic and soldier to bats instead. So you do this jump, right? You can either do this jump like this, it's just a crouch jump, or you can just do this. Right? You can stand on these monitor things, okay? Something you want to keep in mind. So you can either just jump up instantly or do the monitor things, whatever you think is easier, right? But then you can basically go like this with the whips, and you go out to stop right. You sit your heavy up like somewhere like here, heals up top, and then your demo can back off towards the right side, right? And that's when that's basically the only difference with the right side mid, right?
Okay.
You can still sink your player shutter and whatever, and then basically go right side instead of left side, right? So shutter push is really flexible, but as I said before, the only risk with it is that you're getting some players to point weak, so there's a chance of getting bombed and losing your demo early, which is a trade-off, right? It's basically an aggro mid fight. Okay.
Yeah.
Really important. If you do that, you have to, of course, buff your demo and spawn and shit. Make sure he's the highest buff he can be when he reaches mid, and also your scout and pyro need early buffs. And it's also nice to whip your pyro while you're rolling out a spawn, real quick. Okay, that's for that. Yeah, engineer. You can build a gun in main. Can put a dispenser bottom left. Generally though, you kind of want to prevent the spy from crossing initially, and then if they bomb, you want to be a second guy to deny the bomb, like a hit scan shotgun guy, the nice bomb. Right? You can put a level 1 in Shudder as well. I think you know about the NG stretch on this map, right? I don't have to go over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so generally speaking, people will just constantly put a level 3 sentry in Shudder. So whenever they lose too many players while holding, they can back off and play the gun instead and just wrangle that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something you will doing. One thing to keep in mind though, your gun is not as important as fighting point and protecting your players from bombs.
Yeah.
Okay, in the beginning, it's use your shotgun in the beginning of the game. Like, and if you need extra cap time, you're the guy to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
If someone needs a spy tech, you're the guy to do that. Your soldier really wants to block them from flanking under in the mid fight. Right, and secondly, wants to set up a crossfire spam. But most importantly, find an opportunity to bomb their medic. Like over this roof or whatever. Right, just keep your heals high enough that you can always take a 1v1, even a 2v1, right? And then try to find an opportunity to bomb. Right, and then coordinate that bomb with your demo. And that's how you kind of win the mid fight. So yeah, and of course, if your demo doesn't go Shatter, you can still have your scout go Shatter, that's fine. But generally speaking, your demo will then go top left, top right, and the rest of your pyro will follow him, basically. So wherever your demo goes, your pyro goes as well, usually. Unless you call for a change up or you want to change up the mid. But that's only if you're having trouble or whatever, right, on mid fights. Okay. Any questions about the mid fight, how you approach them initially?
All good.
You were saying about stopping them coming through under. So you're
Yeah,
saying that going through under is a good option?
So instead of generally speaking, your scout will either be playing on like point initially, right, with your demo, and then he might play top right with your soldier after that, or he plays on this left roof trying to aggress their flank, right, their soldier, prevent him from bombing by playing on this roof, right? Or he might say just flank under. Because sometimes spies like to cross through under, right? And try to catch that spy real quick. Or just get in and sneak behind like this. And sneak underneath bats like this, okay? So that's why your soldier is also watching for that. He's basically stopping people from flanking behind, right? So, as I said, what might happen, right, is instead of on the rod, your scout might not come with the demo, right? Then your scout goes with your soldier if he's not doing that usually. And then your soldier and scout just rush under straight away. And then they instantly get onto their scout and soldier or something, right? That happens. Generally speaking though, it's better if your soldier walks solo from under, right? And then your scout jumps over the roof. You don't want your scout to come from low ground usually, because he has a hard time getting up to bats. Basically, scout then has to flank behind, right? Usually when scout goes under, he goes like this. Or goes like this. And tries to flank the demo. Or something like that, right? Okay. And that's why your soldier's there for. Basically to call that shit. Really important though, your soldier can't be dying too much. Because that leaves flank open. And as I've told you before, right, scout's usually also important to get cap time on point, right? And he's also important to deny the bombs on your combo. Which means that your soldier's kind of left in the dust a lot of the time. Right? So it's really important. He plays to survive. And he plays with arrows. So soldier needs arrow, play a bit more passive. Like for instance, you can sit like back here. Or back here and you can shoot an arrow through this gap, right? If your medic's on left side. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff you want to be doing there. And also, some people just don't hold their flank at all, and they'll just have their flank play in lobby with the gun, right?
Yeah.
So you don't really care about this right side as long as they can't use it to flank your combo, right? If you're holding left side, for instance. So you can just put your soldier here and the scout here, and they just kill the spy constantly, protect your gun from getting sapped or stabbed, and then they just fight through this doorway. And as soon as their flank tries to flank this, then you do shit to deny. It allows you, it frees up your scout to also play with your combo on this roof, which is really nice, right?
So, just to clarify what you said there, if
Yeah.
they're playing passively and they're not pushing on bats, you have soldier and scout in the
Yeah,
lobby
you
with
could
the
have your
gun.
soldier in lobby, and then your scout kind of roaming between your combo and your point and the lobby, right? So if they decide to pressure this with a bunch of people, your scout then helps with soldier. And then you also have engineer with shotgun here, and you kind of have like 3v2, right?
Mm.
Whereas if soldier bats alone while your scout's holding left side, right? You kind of get fucked because you get 2v1. And that's really risky. Like you might win that, but it's risky. You might as well be a bit more passive, right? And like be in a position where you keep your health high but still do shit to deny them from flanking your medic. Because the main danger of this, right, is that their soldier goes rocket jump through here, jumps all the way to here, and then now your medic's like right standing there and he gets all them. Or like he just goes like this, spams kills the engine, kills the gun, then walks like this, jumps, gets on the medic. Or like opens the shutter, spams the demo for 2, he's dead. Right? That's something you wanna deny, okay? I kind of didn't tell you anything about the mid-fights themselves, right? So generally speaking, on this map, since it's really open, right? It's really easy to get bombed, okay?
Yeah.
So usually you always push with a coordinated bomb, and then you, or you first get some cap time, and then you bomb, and then you all push in. So basically
Okay.
you kind of like nudge the cap while you're bombing, and then as soon as that bomb is in, your demos are speaking, right? All your players who are nudging the cap are now playing aggressive. So scout pyro demo usually, and then the heavies either behind them. The heavies usually a bit slower to get in, right? So he's usually spy checking in the meantime and watching for their bombs of the enemy team and flanks of the enemy team, right? And so your heals can be on scout demo pyro, the people that are actually on point, right? That's how you win the mid fight, okay? Or you just get, as I said, you get the initial pick and you just walk in straight away. And you just kind of get on them and just go deep onto them, basically. Right? Your demo plays from here, your pyro scout, juggle, shoot, right? Stuff like that. Your scout can even like, your soldier will usually jump from like this top right over this, right? Your scout could do like the same, right? And let's say your combo's on the left side now, you just have to make sure you kind of walk from this direction. Okay, you never ever. It's really bad to cross like this, right? For 2 reasons, right? If you want to push their right side hold, you generally want to do it from your right side. And if they're holding left side for some reason, which is you can do but it's really shit, you need to push from your left side or from shutter, right? The reason is, if you look at the point, this is a longer distance than this, so this is better because you get on them quicker, right? So yeah. But yeah, the basic for mid fight basic idea is just bomb and coordinate. You then walks in, you fucking destroy them with demo. That's it. It's a very demo intensive map. If your demo dies instantly, everyone sacks. If your medic dies instantly, everyone sacks as well. Okay, so
Just
if
everybody runs in.
everyone, no matter what your health situation, the max you wait is 1 second. But as soon as unless you get, the reason for that is unless you of course get a counter pick of your own straight away that's good enough to warrant you not doing that and just buying time for your demo to respawn. But generally speaking, if you lose your demo or your medic instantly and you have no counterplay, you want to sack for them instantly. Right? This is more true for your medic dying, and this is true for every golf map. But on this map in particular, your demo is also a reason to do that. Okay, because it's always better. So think about it this way, right? When you lose your medic instantly, they're gonna have heals at, right? right? They're gonna have, that's what they have. They have
Yeah.
an extra player, but that's mainly they have better heals, right? So the longer you wait to go for a sack, right? The more that heal advantage is gonna be, because your heals are, your damage is not being healed away, but their damage, like they are still getting buffed, right? So you always want to go as quick as can in that situation. On this map in particular, the same is true for demo, because for demo, this is such a demo-intensive map, right? With sticky traps all around, like this spot, ridges, like this spot, the door, what else? Yeah, somewhere on these ramps, on this spot, right? Lots of sticky traps and lots of spam angles for demo. Like you can spam all the way to here, spam it if you just charge the stickies. You can spam over this roof from this side, from the other side as well, right? Really, a lot of spam angles for your demo. Yeah, your demo can also sticky trap the roof to prevent bombs, right? If the soldier tries to bomb over this, right? So if you sticky trap on that roof, you can damage him really much, right? If you jump over this, there's stickies on the roof, you usually take a lot of damage, right? So stuff like that. Demo's really key. So if on a mid fight, your demo gets sniped, right? And there's no, and while he was kind of passive and their team was also kind of passive, you generally want to push straight away, or you want to get out straight away. But either or, right? Because the longer you wait, the more damage advantage they're gonna have, right? So unless if someone was making a play and he got something in exchange, you generally want to counter sack. But if you got something good in exchange, right, then sometimes it's better to buy some time for your demo to respawn. Okay. So have I gone over how you hold? Not yet, right? That's the one thing. So scout on roof or demo on roof also works. Then your demo playing here, the pyro right behind him here, with the medic right behind him, and then the heavy watches this area, the back. So he watches the heavy watches the spy, and he watches the bombs, right? And and if they're sniper dice, he can play like this, right?
Yep.
And your sniper usually also plays around here. Then you usually have your NG here, with your soldier here, like or here, basically watching under, and like protecting the engineer, right?
Yep.
Or your scout's not here, in which case he's playing with your soldier sometimes. This leaves you open to bombs though, so be careful of that. And the reason your pyro plays here is because if he can deny spam from their demo on your demo, that's one thing. But he also wants to stay close to medic, so you can reflect bombs, right? That's the reason. And the scout on roof is really good at denying bombs, so keep that guy buffed, right? Make sure your scout on roof is like constantly getting buffs, and then just work around the rest of your team in the meantime. Okay. Like, of course, demo and sniper always need buffs, but like, scout buff on this roof denies a lot, right? And if he has to back off, he has to back off, whatever, right? But try to keep that roof control. That's the idea there.
So the whole combo on that, on
Yeah, you
coal
basically kind
side,
of, you basically kind of give up right side, and you kind of just stack everyone on this left, right? Because you don't, as I said before, you don't really care about them having right side. You only care in such that they can use it to flank you. So you only have to keep pressure on it, but you don't have to necessarily hold it, right? Right, and if they are on those bats, your sniper can try to snipe them. You can go back to lobby, right, and try to snipe them as well, right? He doesn't always have to counter snipe their sniper. Okay. One thing to keep in mind, there's this sniper silent is disgusting. So your medic always has to be wary of that. And when he crosses, always have someone to body block and like flame particles and shit if he needs to get out for some reason. Another thing, if you know they're gonna sack super hard, like a sack wave, your medic might as well already be here, right? To just relative safety, and if your pyro right in front, right? If you know they're gonna sack, you can really quickly back off before it happens, right? Or if you know they're gonna like uber over point from this bottom right side, like your medic doesn't want to be caught in this corner by a pyro, so they might as well already be like leaving. And if you do that, they might waste their uber, and then you can straight away repush shutter with your gun. Because your gun is if your gun is still up, you can straight repush shutter with your combo if they survive, right? So the idea is you kind of play super close here. Make sure they force around this corner. If you have Uber this at, and you know they're gonna have at, then you just run with everyone, right? Everyone else is kind of the medic and heavy are kind of already playing here, a bit passive, right? And it's just your power demo aggressive to force. And as soon as they force, they all run like bitches. The Pyro tries to like walk back like this, protect your demo to get out, their Uber's wasted, and now you repush straight away. And they get fucked. Right? And if they try to chase you, you only really need your heavy like on this corner to hold that off. Right? That's a really nice idea. So general idea, so as I said before, right? If you need to repush point, you push from the side or not holding usually. And the best two ways to push point, because the strongest hold is left side, is from shutter or from top right. So let's go over the last thing of this map, which is top right. Okay. So for top right, you have you kind of wanna have your medic on high ground as long as he doesn't have Uber. And once he gets Uber, he can drop down whenever he wants, because then you can always save your medic by forcing, right? But generally, you want your medic on high ground when that's not the case, unless you decide to push, make like a proper dry push, okay? And then you leave one of your combo, usually heavy, up top with him, right? And then your demo wants to camp, go low ground alone, and then your power can go back and up if he has detonator or can power jack going back up real quick, right? Protect the demo. And once your demo says push, you push, okay? That's fine. But you always want to wait for Uber if you do it that way. What's a nice strat though is, like, if you know they have... Basically, you got wiped on the mid fight, let's say, right? And now you have to repush, right? You need to get some picks, right? So how do you do that? You basically have your pyro medic, or... Yeah, your pyro medic, they play... Everyone gets buffed on... Everyone basically regroups lobby, right? Everyone gets buffs, okay? Then you go bats, start spamming a bit, make a bit of space for your sniper, maybe you get a snipe, right? But once before you get 60% Uber on your own team, right? You can do a sack wave, obviously. So you should then sack if you know they have full Uber, right? And you have full Uber this app. Before you get 60% Uber, you should always try to do a sack wave with your like 4 or 5 players. And that will usually force their Uber and might even get some picks and drops. And if they drop, you can instantly push, right? That's also nice. You can turn it into a push.
So those 4 players who go right side in the sack wave is sniper on the balcony, soldier jumping in, scout jumping in.
Can be everyone, besides the person that's building with your medic, which is usually your pyro. Because your medic, basically what you do is you buff everyone here in lobby, you take a bit of space, and you rebuff them. Soldier bombs, demo bombs, scout jumps over, heavy walks across point, sometimes even pyro. Engineer walks in, you know, sniper peeks aggressive as fuck like this, or peeks on those bats, right? And then your pyro medic back off in the meantime, right?
And all you're looking for is try and take
Kill all of them, kill everything.
Oh, just kill everything.
Yeah,
But
if they're
there's
holding
a
bottom,
priority-
you just go top bottom right, and the priority is of course killing the medic, right? And getting him to force, because then you're worth it, right? If you force their medic, when your medic is at 60% or less than 60%, but like somewhere about 40-50%, right? If you force the medic at that time, by the time your next respawn wave comes in, you're all grouping up at spawn, you're all getting buffs, and you can push straight away. Because you can just walk in. And you can just bully them out or use Uber into them if they try to hold. Right? Because you now have full Uber at. You turn the situation around. From before they had full Uber at to hold the point, but now you have full Uber at to push. Right?
And when you're defending, you want to stop that at all costs.
Yeah. So that's why you play Scout's Roof and shit, right? You don't want them to sack wave and get something. And that's why your medic, if you know they're gonna do this, it's good to play passive a bit, right? When you know they're gonna sack anyways. This is another reason why your demo, so if there's snipers not watching point from top right or shutter, you might as well have your demo aggressive on point like this, because that gives you better angles if they do decide to bomb, and you're not as grouped up. Like a big mistake you can make is grouping up like 6 people in this tiny area, and then they bomb in, and they will get something, right? Because you can't heal away everything. Like that's a big mistake. And that's why you have Scout on roof, and the demo a bit more aggressive, and Pyro here, Medic here, Heavy here. So you're all a bit spread out, right? You don't take the same damage when they do sack wave or something like that. Yeah. And you're much more in a better position to deny it. Right? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're done with call plans. Any questions about anything?
No.
Right, I think it was kind of good. Yeah, and obviously you can also do, when you're pushing point like this, right? You can also do some, send on one guy to flank, right? Do quick, sneaky play, kill their bats, and then flank from the lobby while you push in over point, right? Something like that. Also works. Like if your scout's really nuts at DM, you can do that. With, maybe even with soldier or whatever, right? You can get rich. So pyro's not good for building, right? You asked that in chat, Hugo. But it doesn't matter because the idea is that you're half Uber, they have full Uber. You force their Uber, now they have no Uber, and you will get have 80 time their Uber. So you will have like 80% or like basically full Uber at by the time your team respawns, right? So the Pyro is mainly the reason the Pyro stays with the medic is because he's the best class at solo protecting a medic from getting out. If they decide to counter bomb with them on soldier to try to kill you, your Pyro can air blast them and your medic can keep walking back into the spawn. So you basically prevent your medic from dying, right? That's the idea. The Pyro is the best at doing that. Another, you can also do it with Scout, right? Because Scout gets movement speed buff and then you can run out. That's also fine. But Scout's generally really good in stack waves because he can two-shot people, right? Pyro can't really do that. Okay. So that's it.
So, summarizing holds and pushes.
Yeah.
You
So your
hold.
left side standard. Yes. Yeah, you push from right side when you need to retake the point. On mid fights you can choose. Okay. But generally speaking, you re-push from the side they are holding. So if they're holding right side, you re-push from right side. If they're holding left side, you re-push from left side. Okay? Because that gives your soldier easy bombs, right? And it also allows you to walk on point easier. Another idea with cold plant is you edge cap a lot, right? And it's much easier to do that if you're pushing from right side because they have only one angle on you. If you're pushing from left side and you try to edge cap, they have a much easier spam sideline on you, right? That's the main reason you do it from that way. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna go over the right side hold because it's kind of cringe and no one does that. So.
Okay.
It's really easy to kill because you can just flank on there and jump and bomb them really easy when they do that, right? So one thing about defending this point, if you know their medic dropped down before they have Uber, and you have Uber, and you know, and your spy calls that, you should instantly push into that, because their medic can't really escape. If you put Scout, Pyro, Demo in this Uber, and you just flash everyone before you can just wipe their team, if they drop down prematurely before they get Uber. That's why I say leave your medic high ground, because that's a really good punishment you can do. If you hear your spy, if you see your soldier maybe playing right side, maybe your soldier was trying to flank behind to the lobby or something, right? And he sees that they're all dropped down there, and they don't have Uber yet because they just respawned, right? But your team has Uber, you can just exchange into them, right? Use Uber aggressively while you're defending, and you can wipe their entire team. Right? That's a nice idea.